what happened here.
My first question is, can you recall your first sit-down with Ridley Scott and what you talked about?
You know, when actors get called in for meetings with directors, they often think that's as far as it'll go. So that you know, when I heard he wanted to meet with me, I figured, well, you better enjoy this because you'll probably never see him again the rest of your life. So I just went in and I didn't really know what it was for. I hadn't seen a script or anything. And he ended up kind of pitching himself to me, which I thought was so bizarre because I thought it was kind of a given that I'd be interested to work with him, you know, no matter how he liked to work. And he sort of said, you know, I like to hire actors I like to work with and that I think are talented, and leave them to their own devices. And I don't think you need to get in actors' way too much. They usually know what the fuck to do, so let them do it. And I like to work quickly. I think it keeps the energy up on set, and then you have time to have a nice dinner and get a good night's sleep before you come back into work again. Very efficient. I use multiple cameras, so the energy of the scene is good, and everybody can play off one another. And so does that sound good to you? And I was like, yeah. What are we talking about? Like, what is this film? And then he asked if I was around in April, and I would have just, at that time, I was just finishing Fantastic Beasts, so I said yes. And then he said, okay, well, I'll talk to you soon. And I didn't know. I still kind of thought, yeah, well, that was fun, but who knows what'll happen. And then I got the job a couple weeks later.
Very cool. When did you find out it was Alien?
I think I knew it was Alien, but I didn't know what the story was. I didn't know where it was going, and a couple weeks later, I found out that it was this part.
When you're stepping into, this obviously isn't your first franchise, but when you're stepping into an existing world, is it very different than stepping into another film?
Well, actually, I've only done these 2 franchises, and I've been stepping into pre-existing universe in both of them. So I actually don't have. On some level, I think it's probably much more intimidating to try to build something from scratch. You know, I felt more on both of these films like I was recruited onto a sports team that people already loved, and it felt really welcoming, but it also felt, I don't know, maybe I just had to do a trick of the imagination to put out the negative thoughts and worry about the judgment from the fans. I just felt the support of the fans and their enthusiasm and excitement, especially in this case that Ridley Scott was returning to the franchise. I mean, obviously he did with Prometheus, but people just love him and he created it. So I just felt sort of the excitement of all of that.
He does something very cool with films where the movie almost spills over out of the film, and we got to see the Last Supper prologue. How does something like that come about?
Well, I didn't know we were going to do those things, and then we were working, and they said, you're going to all get together on some of your free time. And at first we said, what? On the weekend? But that's what we did. We would come in on the weekend or stay late after work and whip these things up. But actually that one, the Last Supper one, was a kind of crazy day for me because I shot the very beginning of it where Walter is giving me medicine, kind of doing a physical, And then I went and shot some of the toughest emotional stuff that I have to do by myself, like when I don't want to give things away, but when I'm alone in my room and stuff. And then I had to go back and do the little speech at the end of that teaser. And so that was like a very strange day on set because that was very light and fun and just for the fans and everything. And then of course the real work was a bit heavier. So that was a busy day.
Is it easy to sort of scare yourself?
I mean, in an environment like this, where I don't know if it's easy, to do it, but it's definitely easier when you're so well supported, you know. These totally interactive, immersive, beautiful sets that feed you a lot. Everywhere you look, you feel you're in that world, in that environment. That helps you suspend your disbelief. And having co-stars that are also very hardworking and committed. And then, you know, a director who's really great at keeping the energy up. You know, when you stop and start on a set, you have to keep, you know, trying to preserve your energy and then amp it up again, and because Ridley moves so quickly and often shoots with multiple cameras at once, you kind of can stay at this, I don't know, sort of at this certain level of energy throughout the day. You don't have to kind of tone it down and bring it up so much, which is what I think makes it really challenging to do that kind of thing. So yeah, it was only that then at the end of the day, sometimes it was sort of hard to come down off of that level of energy. So hot baths. There were many hot baths.